Let's do a 48-hour readathon, bitches. I don't like it. And we just move on You see these two stacks here? This stack is a definite read. This stack, this stack I want to say is like a. I'm probably most likely not 10 only gonna read these books, but if I don't feel like reading any of these books, this is my secondary backup stack. Hi, hello, welcome back, Lucas Besties, to another video. We're doing a 48-hour readathon. I have been scrapping all the vlogs that I've been trying to record this month, so you haven't gotten that many vlogs from me this month, and I'm so sorry. But what I have planned for July is a bunch of mid-year content and some vlogs in between, working in between videos, so that we can get more in-depth vlogs, longer vlogs, better edited vlogs even. So I hope you're excited. But I'm excited for this weekend because I have zero plans, not a none, and there is potential for me to do this 2 weekends in a row because I also have zero, not a none, nothing planned next weekend, and it's a holiday weekend. But I digress. We're gonna do a 48-hour readathon. It is currently, I don't know what time it is. It is currently 6:56 p.m. We're gonna start this at 8 o'clock tonight. That gives me an hour to finish doing what I was doing, get started, take my shower, eat something for dinner. Probably I'm gonna eat dinner early or either later, and then dive right into this 48-hour readathon. I'm so super excited to do this with you guys. The last one was so successful for me, and I read so much, like over 1,000 pages. I'm hoping I can read 1,000 pages, maybe more this time. And like I said, we have plenty of books to choose from. Some of them that I just like I'm currently reading, and then some of them that I just have on my radar for me to read. There's a lot of library books here because I'm on a book buying ban and I'm borrowing from the library, but also I'm very conscious about what I put on my shelves. And I usually try to read from the library first before I buy like the whole series or whatever. But we have our choices lined up, we have everything lined up, and it's a perfect weekend. So come with me, besties, for a perfect weekend 48-hour readathon. Hi, besties. I have updates for you. I haven't recorded a lot. Um, and that's my bad. Sorry. I'm grabbing the physical book I had, and then I'll just put up a picture of the other book I have finished. So I have finished two books. Now, granted, I was in the middle of reading these two books, and technically I have a third book that I'm also in the middle of, but I wanted to go ahead and get them over with because I was over 50% of the way through with one of them. I had 45% of it left, and I was basically pretty much done with the second, like the other one. I was like 80, 90 something percent into the book. So, like, there was no point in me not sitting down and finishing it. I finished like the last 10% of it. So the first book we finished together was The Ritual by Chantal Tessier. It took me like 55 minutes to read the last bit of this book. I started on page um 444, which is kind of wild to me. Didn't realize it until I was going back and looking at what page I started on. But yeah, I started on page 444, and this book is 531 pages, so however many pages that is, do your math and pretend as you're editing this and put that on the screen. And in the last 55% of Savage Bonds, which is the second book in the Bonds That Die series, I don't normally read the first and second book of a series in the same month, but I have caught myself doing that because this series is so addictive in a way. My least favorite part of it is how Ollie thinks that her keeping her mouth shut is protecting them when actually it's putting them in more danger than they really need to be in. But I digress. I do. I can't judge. I'm not in her situation. I would never be in her situation because it's a why choose a fantasy romance. Um, so the plan is to turn on some reading sprints. I'm about to read the first volume or the first volume of the omnibus version I have of One Piece, so volume 10, which is the next one I do. I will read one of each of those during this. So that'll be like 600 pages right there, which is kind of wild to me. And then in between, I'm going to be editing the video you will have seen on the last day of this video. So I have my like chatty book plans video going up for the latter half of this year, which I'm super excited about. I feel like it was a good way to kind of introduce my mid year content that we have coming up. So I'm super excited about that actually. And then I think on Wednesday you're getting something else. I'm gonna record something on Sunday, the day that video goes up. And then on Friday you're getting this video, I think is how I'm gonna do it. So yeah, that's that. I we have other plans going on in July. You're gonna probably get a video 3 days a week, Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. In July, there may be a couple Fridays I miss. I think there's like one Friday I miss, but like I have video, sit down and talk videos planned, and a couple like my couple regular videos that I post, like a continuing series vlog is starting literally after this one. So that's going up literally sometime in July, and that'll be like June's continuing to, although it was going to take me into July, but I digress, not the point. Yeah, I don't know how many hours in. I think we're almost 4 hours in, and I've made this much progress. I've read this many pages. Yeah, it's 11:02, which means no, I started at 8 o'clock, which means we're only 3 hours in. I'm amazing. We're 3 hours and 2 minutes into this, and I've already made this much progress. I'm so good at this. But I digress. I am going to, like I said, go start some sprints. I love sprinting. And we're going to read and work. We're going to read during the sprints, and then during the breaks, we're going to work. So let's go. We're indeed halfway through this challenge. It is 8 o'clock on Saturday. We started this at 8 o'clock last night, and I have read a lot of pages. Um, so by my calculations, I've read like over 500 pages. I think maybe even like close to like 800 pages. I'm not even really sure right now. I don't have all the pages on here. I've only have the pages that I have completely like finished on here. So last night I did fall asleep not long after I recorded that clip of me showing the sprints and then One Piece. Yeah, I fell asleep not long after that. So I read like one chapter of volume 10 last night and then I finished it. When I woke up this morning, my problem right now with One Piece is that it just feels the same. It feels repetitive. We have like big bad guy fight big bad guy, then we move on to next big bad guy. And I know there's probably gonna be plenty of that, but it's just a little annoying right now. So I gave it like a 4.5, which is my like not my favorite, but I feel like volume 11 is gonna ricochet back up with this fight Luffy is about to have with Arlong. If you know, you know. I'm not gonna say too much. I know this has been out for a very long time. I know the anime has been out for a very long time. And as soon as I finish this, I will be starting the anime because I'm way too invested. I have enjoyed this way too much, and I will be watching the live action. Aren't there like two seasons of it? So I have to watch the live action of this. But I did, in fact, read this. And then I have started one of the Libby audiobooks I have because I have two audiobooks that I've had for a couple of days now available on Libby. And so I have started City of Souls and Sinners by Kayla Edwards. This is the second book in the House of Devil series. I've been meaning to continue the series for a while now. It's just these are chunkers and I have to be in the mood for them. So the audiobooks definitely help me get through them. I am over 100 pages in. I've kind of marked this up to the point where I will finish it in like 7 days because this is 700 pages. I actually surpassed my goal for today because my goal was to only read 100 pages a day until I finished. And yeah, I've already passed my goal for today. I'm on page 137, I think it is. Yeah, 137. That's the page I'm currently on. I'm sorry if you can hear that. That is my ambiance that I have going on while I'm reading. Um, so I listened to that today while I took pictures for YouTube. I actually had to take a couple more rounds of pictures so I can update my profile photo on here and on TikTok. And just stuff like that. That's what that giant stack of books you see back there is that you saw me kind of build earlier. But yeah, if you don't know what City of Souls and Sinners is, or the House of Devil series, it's an urban fantasy romance series where you're following Loren Kala. She's a human in this world filled with other beings, so werewolves, vampires, dark slayers, everything in between, like angels, kind of everything you can think of in between, and everything in between are in this book. Um, and so you're following her as she discovers that someone is out to get her. There's a bounty on her head, and she meets Dorian Castle, a dark slayer or a hell slayer, and he realizes that she's human, and he's like, well, I'm not gonna take you to these random people if you're human. We're gonna figure out what the fuck they want with you and go after them. So yeah, this isn't gonna finish in June. Like that's just not possible. It's unless I really put my mind to it, but because I'm also filming my continuing series vlog next week, this will also be in that video. So you will see this in two vlogs back to back. But it'll get finished in my next one, hopefully. But I digress. So I've done that. And then I just sat and read The Housemaid Secret in its entirety, the same way I did The Housemaid. That was the first book I finished, and the last one I did of these, the Full 48 Hour Read that I did in May around my birthday, like right after my birthday. I read The Housemaid in that one, so I thought, why not read The Housemaid's Secret in this one and continue the tradition on? So I may even read the third book in my next 4 hour readathon that I do, that maybe towards like the mid July or either the end of July. I'm kind of liking these by 24 hour readathons because it's a literal whole weekend. I come home Friday night and I literally start reading and I read all the way through Sunday night. Kind of brings me some sort of joy. But I digress. Um, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed it a little less than book one, but I still really enjoyed it. I think I gave it like a 4.5 star read. I haven't done a rating quite yet, but I did read this in its entirety. And let me tell you, women be bonkers. Women be bonkers. Yeah, no, this is crazy. This was wild. Out of pocket, could not believe what I was reading. Um, but also at the same time, I suspected some of this was coming just based off what I knew from book one. And now I have so many other questions, and I want to read so many other Freedom McFadden books because I have so much interest in her writing style. Actually, I want to pick up The Boyfriend soon, so that may be something we do together. Maybe we could do a week of reading thrillers or something. But I did read this. This was 327 pages, and I read this entirely. And then after finishing that, I went into the next book that I want to fully read in this vlog, like read all 400 and something pages of this book. 400. This book is 429 pages long. So I want to read its entirety. Um, so yeah, this should be pretty quickly to get through. The audiobook is 13 hours long. This is the other audiobook I have on Libby is 13. Yeah, 13 hours long, but I have ricocheted up on my listening speed. I have been listening to 2 times speed for like a few months now, but it sounded too slow this morning. And so I am now up to 2.20 speed. So I'm basically going to finish this in about I mean, not 2 hours, about 6 hours, I would say, 6.5 hours, maybe a little less than that because I'm on 2.2 times speed. And I'm only calculating half of 13, which is 6.5. So I'll probably finish it in more like 6 hours, give or take. And still have plenty of time to read since we're literally only 24 hours in, 24 hours and 7 minutes in. I would still have like over 18 hours to read this book. And that kind of low key makes me excited, but I'm also thinking about recording my read with me video that it's going up the beginning of July in between all the sit down and talk videos. And I'm going to read my buddy read pick for June for my best friends, which is Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I want to read this in June in its entirety. So this was already going to be a book that I tried to read. In this 48-hour readathon, not the whole thing, but like get maybe halfway through it. I'm such a mood reader. I really am. Also, technically, I have another book from the library that I am reading, and you've probably seen on my Goodreads if you follow me on my Goodreads or my Fable, and that is The Inheritance Games. And I was going to pick this up today, but then I decided that I wanted to read The Housemaid. And while this is not a thriller, this is kind of like sort of a mystery that has a bunch of riddles in it. I'm not really in the mood for this. So I may soft DNF this, or what I may do is read the fantasy book, like finish the Femme Dawn, and then go back to this and try and read it all in its entirety because I'm already like 60 pages in, and I'm 80 pages in. And I remember the first time I read this in like two sittings because the chapters are short Jennifer Lynn Barnes just pulls you in. So this is also a potential for me to read in this video. Um, there was a lot of potential that I could read for this video. There really was. Like, I had a fat stack of books that I kind of narrowed down in between me filming the intro to this and then starting this, and that stack has become smaller. Um, but I digress. I have made some good progress. I actually wanted to calculate the pace with you guys because I read 83 pages of The Ritual, 152 pages of Seven Spawns to finish those two off. I read Volume 10 of One Piece in its entirety, which is 192 pages. And then I read The Housemaid's Secret, which was 327 pages. So, when we calculate all of that together, we get 758 pages. I do not remember the amount of pages I read the last time I did this. I'm going to go back and look because I probably told you at the end of the video. But if I continue on like this, I think I could, plus the 137 I've read of City of Twin Sinners, that's on 895 pages. I think I'm doing better than the last one. But I'll come back to you maybe about 12 hours, about 36 hours in. Give me like a mini update because this is a long update because I have not talked to you since I was like 3 hours into this, 4 hours into this, whatever it may be. So I've done a lot since then. My plan tonight is to try and stay up as long as possible to read. Maybe even just risk not going to sleep until tomorrow night after I finish this vlog, this video out. Which I wouldn't be mad at because that'd be plenty of sleep. My body would get plenty of sleep. But yeah, I know for sure, I at least want to finish this because another continuation of a series, and it's a series that I really like, and it has to be 5 stars. And then I also want to start, maybe finish this, but I doubt I'll finish it. Phantasm. So like those are at least two books I know I'm gonna get through, and then another like 100 pages of this. So like we're gonna read a lot. Like I said, I'm already at 895, so I feel like I could get to a good close 1500. Who knows? But that's a very long update of I have been talking to you for 11 minutes. I can hear it. My mouth is a little dry. Let me take a sip of water and then get back to reading because boy oh boy, I'm in the mood to read and no one's stopping me. Oh my god, if I could get it open, it'd be great. Yeah, that felt good. That tastes good. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to reading now. 48 hours done. I'm sleepy. I'm not dehydrated. I drank a lot during this video. Like, I drink a lot of water. I'm very much not get enough sleep, but that's fine. I'm not going to sleep until my mom gets home from work tonight. She has to work late tonight, so I'm waiting for her. But in total, we read 1,791 mother freaking pages, which is about 200 pages more than I did in my last one. Granted, I was in the middle of some of these books when I started this video. Next 48 hour readathon I will do will be in August. I know that for a fact just because I already have my July videos planned with all of my mid-year content. You've already started seeing that by the time you're seeing this video because my reading plans video went up first, and then this one, and then my June wrap up because you have to see this for my June wrap up. That just makes complete sense. But I digress. Next time I do this though, I'm going with the clean slate. I will finish every book I'm reading that Thursday, and then that Friday, Saturday, Sunday that I read, we'll be reading everything will be brand new. Pick up that in that video. Um, I feel like I'm missing a book in this stack. Oh, I'm missing City of Souls and Sinners. Um, but let's go through this together. What all I read in this video. The first thing I did in this video was finish The Ritual by Chantal Tessier. I have been reading this for a little over a week. I think I was reading it for like 8 days, and I was like, I need to get this done. I read the last 87 pages of this. I didn't have much of it left. I gave it a 3 star. It was not my favorite. I was expecting a little bit more from it, but also I wasn't expecting as much smut as there was in here. I skipped the last like good bit of smut in this book because I was just so over it at that point. And listen, I love a good dark romance. I love a good college dark romance, but this just too much smut, and I didn't think that would be something I was saying as someone who is literally about to start reading literal monster smut books. It's literally that's literally what a series I'm about to start is on my iPad because I'm doing 7 books in 7 days, which is kind of wild because I work a full-time job, but I believe in myself. The next book I read in this video or finished in this video was Savage Bonds by Jay Bree. This is the second book in the Bonsai Tai series by Jay Bree. I started the series the beginning of this month. I read like the first one like within the like first week of June, I believe. I was doing it in 24 hours. This took me a couple of days to get through, but I still really enjoyed it. I like this slightly better than book one. I'm just tired of the back and forth with Ollie and not wanting to tell the truth when the truth can help everybody. Okay, like everybody. And then after that, I read One Piece Volume 10. I feel like I don't need to say much here because it's One Piece. And if you don't know what One Piece is, where have you been? What are you doing? I'm actually probably about to go watch an episode or two of the anime or the live action because now that I'm almost finished, I literally only have volume 12 to finish off the East Blue Saga. And that's literally what I was waiting for before I started so I could have plenty to watch before while I'm deep into the series and trying to get through the manga. I know I think volume 13 is kind of like a filler manga where like they're in between like East Blue and then the Baroque arc. But yeah, Red Volume 10, that was another 192 pages. Oh, I also rated it a 4.5. I believe just because I got tired of all the fighting. Like I feel like we're fighting like every other volume, or even in every volume that I read, we're fighting, and it's just not my favorite. Then, because my Libby hold came in, I only have like a week left with this book. I started City of Souls and Sinners. I marked this off to where I would read 100 pages a day until I finished the book. So I have not read my 100 pages for today, which I'm not mad about. I'm about to go wash dishes and do some stuff around the house and listen to the audiobook of this. But I did read 137 pages of this, got to part 2 of this, chapter 12. This is the second book following City of the Monsters, which you can literally see right here. Also, let's fix this lighting a little bit. Now the sun has decided it wants to stop blazing in my freaking window. But Citizens and Sinners by Kayla Edwards. I'm actually really excited for this. It's on my summer TBR, which This is the only book I read off of it, so I really need to hop on that. It's not that I've forgotten about it, but I'm such a mood reader. But I also did totally forget about it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did forget about my summer TBR. So we're gonna hop to that, and this was the first step towards that. When this came in, I was like, "This is on my TBR for the summer. I'm gonna read it because I need to know what happens in Darian and Loren after the events of book one." And then because I felt like it was only right to read this after I read the first one in my first 40-hour marathon, that I read The Housemaid's Secret by Phelan McFadden all in one sitting. I sat down on my bed and just read this and nothing else. This was I did what am I even trying to say? I did enjoy this slightly less than book one. I only gave it a 4 star, where book one was like a 4.5, 4.75. But I still really enjoyed this. Molly Calloway, you are insane. You are you are insane. That plot twist at the end, the last little bit where she admits something. Oh baby, you're crazy. Got it. Got it. No, this was still really good. I do know that book three is everybody's least favorite, so that makes me a little nervy, but I'm still going to read it to finish off the trilogy. So I only have one book left in this, so we can definitely finish this off and call it a day. But I did enjoy this. This was 327 pages, and I read it this entirely. That's, yeah, okay, now that I'm looking at this, my calculations may be off because I had not updated where I was in Defend the Dawn because I finished Defend the Dawn. Hold on. Next book that I have for you to talk about that I also read in this video was Defend the Dawn, which is the second book following Defy the Night by Bridget Kemmerer, which has become a new favorite author of mine. This solidified it. While I enjoyed this slightly less than book one, as I gave book one a 4.5 and this one a solid 4, I still really enjoyed her writing, her characters, her world, all of it. Just I felt like some of this lulled a little bit in the middle there, so it's kind of like, but I still really enjoyed it. The last like 80 pages of her books each time go crazy. Like stuff is just happening. It's like bang, 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 bang. Like things are happening. I listened to this on audio because I also had this on Libby, and I listened to it in literally like 12 hours or so, give or take, because I did fall asleep at like the 240-page mark, and then I woke back up this morning and started off there and continued on. And then after that, I read volume 11 of One Piece. So another volume of One Piece down. Like I said, I literally only have volume 12 left to read. And this one was a 5 star read. I felt like we got to like the good, juicy, funny parts again, which I really enjoy. Like I love the serious fight scenes of it, but those can get really old if they're back to back to back to back to back. But then we got some like silly, goofy moments in here, and we met some new characters. And one of a few characters who we thought we had defeated are back again, and we're in a new location. Just all of it was so good. Definitely, I think this is my favorite volume after volume 9. Nothing will beat volume 9 as of right now because volume 9 made me cry. And it was, in fact, titled Tears. I know I said I probably wasn't going to read this because I read the Housemaid, but I did decide to just go ahead and knock this out of the way. And I read The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the first book in the Inheritance Games series. I read this a few years ago. Really enjoyed it. I think I gave it a 5 star when I read it a few years ago. Now that I have read the Naturals, this has become a 3.5 star. Listen, don't hate me. I still really, really enjoyed it. It's just I don't connect to the characters in this the way I did with the characters in this. And by no means am I saying that like I'm anything like either of any of these characters in either of these series, but I felt more emotionally attached to Dean and Cassie and Leah and Sloan and Michael and all of them than I do to like Jameson and Avery and Grayson and Xander and Nat. Like I just don't connect to these. So this ended up being a 3.5 star. I also had to like force myself to sit down and read this, but I wanted to get it done because I felt like if I didn't, I wasn't going to be reading this anytime soon. So audiobooking the next book to hopefully make it a better experience. And then to end this vlog out, I've started my buddy read book that me and my friends do every month, and that is Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. This is the first book, and this year I think it's supposed to be a trilogy. I think it's supposed to be a third book. I don't know for sure or not. But we picked this out as our June buddy read. I'm actually really enjoying it so far. I have questions. I have about 5 million questions that I need answered, so I will be going back to this. I don't think it'll be tonight, but it definitely will be in the near future where I get deeper into this. Um, so hopefully you guys will see this soon in a wrap up video or somewhere on social media. Like I film a video talking about it because I'm invested and we haven't even gotten into the thick of it. Like we haven't even gotten to the actual plot of it. I still have not read the synopsis of this, and I'm actually 74 pages into this, and I haven't even read the synopsis of this book. I couldn't even tell you the synopsis. Hopefully, I want to try and finish this by the end of the month. Mel does reading sprints on Monday, so I will be joining those. So hopefully, I can finish this. But if not, it'll definitely be included in my July wrap up. And that's everything I read. This is a long winded outro. I will try to cut this up as much as possible. But like I also had not talked to you guys since the 24-hour halfway mark, so we had a lot to say, a lot to talk about because I have read so much. I did not think I could read so much in one weekend, and then I proved myself completely incorrect. And I have read the most I probably read in one weekend in a very long time. I am at 81 books out of my 120 goal for the year. I did up my goal to 120 to try and challenge myself, but I'm seeing that that might not even be a challenge because Fable is something that I could have it done by September. And if I read volume 12 of that tomorrow and I finish this by the end of the month, that'll put me at 83 and potentially finish in August. Yeah, so we don't talk to me. I'm devouring books at this point this year. I don't know what's gotten into me, but I like it. I do. I do like it. So So here's a stack of everything I read. The only thing that's literally missing is Savage Bonds, which I eventually want to own those, but those aren't like the top of my priority list of buying anytime soon. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. Um, as always, have a great day, evening, night, morning, afternoon, and whatever part of the world you're having it in. I'm sorry for talking fast. This is really heavy, and I'm only holding it with like the very back of my hand, and I don't want to put it down and it fall. And I'm not having fun. As always, down below, Facebook, Goodreads, Instagram, TikTok, everything will be linked down below for you. I will see you guys in my next video, which will be my June wrap up. So keep an eye out for that if you want some more in depth reviews for each of these. It's probably going to be a long one because I'm at like 19 or 20 books finished for the month. So, bye.